You see, we've got to learn in the core of our hearts and lives, in the culture we live in, as well as in the Christian culture. We've got to learn that words of love and words like that have to go further. Come on. I mean, you know, young people today need to start out with saying, I'm committed. And then get to, I love you. How many of you hear that? You see, if you get to commitment, then love can come along behind it. My wife's father looked at me. He was a Navy captain. And when I had asked him, could I marry my wife, I think it was 3 times. And he had told me no all the first 2. Can you imagine? And no one told me that. I went to the guy and said, I want to marry your daughter. He said, no way. And I just went, what? I mean, it was just like not even on the, scale. What do you mean, no? He said, no. I mean, how I look at it, I didn't have a job. I had hair down to here. And I was coming in, my eyes were, and smart guy. Give my daughter to this insane person? The definition for mom, the acronym was probably mother of a maniac. That was me. And so then I went back and I approached him the second time. And I did a few things. And he said no again. I thought, this is serious business. This guy's playing a game with me here. So I said, okay. Now I'm in the challenge. He's thrown the gauntlet down. Now I'm spawned with this thing, and I'm trying to figure it out, see? So now I go get my hair cut. Some of you go, well, that's not a big deal with that. It's a cultural thing. So I got my hair cut, and I went and got a job. Think of it. So I get a job, and then, through my wife's money, I bought a car. I had a car, but I bought a nice car. I bought a Mercedes. And it was an old classic. And so, then I go up. I drive up. I got a job. I'm the assistant manager of a store like Pier 1, and had no clue what I was doing. Can you imagine they let me total up the money at night? One for them, one for me. One for them, one for... It was easy to do that kind of math. I knew at least the number 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Anyway, so in that process, I learned this whole process of business. And I drive up to the house, and I drive up, and their parents live in this wealthy neighborhood, and I drive up in my Mercedes, get out and close the door. I come up and I said, I'm going to marry your daughter. He looks outside, looks at me. I tell him in the conversation, I'm running a job now. I'm the head guy. Come on now. I'm embellishing it a little bit. I mean, I'm not saved yet, so give me a break. And I'm telling him all the promises. And you know what he says to me? He gets real close to me. And he looks in my eyes and he says, you can marry my daughter, but here's one thing I'm going to tell you. And I had been shot at already and been in fights and things, so but no big deal. I'm looking, man. He said, make sure you take care of her for the rest of her life. Because if I give her to you, you better take care of her. That was not what I expected. And I went away going, geez. Yeah, I walked away thinking, I got in my car and drove around for hours going, geez, man, I ain't never been committed to nothing like this. He's talking about forever. I'm a kid. What's ever mean? Boy, that really got me. But you know what he was looking for? He wasn't looking for whether, he didn't ask me, do you love my daughter? See, I could have done that one. I would have said, oh, yeah. You understand? That would have been easy. But he asked me to be committed. Think of it. Well, forever. I thought he was going to pay some of the bills. Commitments come out of promises, saints. Commitments come out of promises. Are you listening? Certain words characterize different classes of promises. The words are all about commitment. Our words today in America's church needs to be words of commitment. I'm committed to Jesus. I'm committed to serve. I'm committed to the long haul. I'm committed to be faithful in my local church. I'm committed to win souls. I'm committed to live holy. I'm committed to live for God. I'm committed to build His kingdom. I'm committed to expand His kingdom. How many of you hear that? I'm committed to see that the growth of the kingdom of God is in direct relationship to my investment. Are you listening? You see, how many of you know the world has very little to do with commitment? If you watch the political world, how many of you know people today are only committed to each other for the gain of something? I'll be your partner in some great thing, in society, only if the angle fits me. How many of you know we're committed to Pakistan? Right. We're committed to making sure their nukes don't get in the hands of the Taliban. Are you hearing me? Are we committed to Pakistan? No. How much commitment are we to Israel? We're committed to Israel only because it's the only ally we have in that region. Come on. So how do you know our commitment is based on you give me, I'll give you. You help me, I'll help you. We're committed to the banks. And how do you know at a bank it's all about? And how many of you know somewhere along the line we've lost the fact that all of our promises and promissory notes, even marriages today, they sign prenuptial agreements and stuff just in case it don't work. How many of you know we need to move from that and become people, Christians, who have not only the right words, I love Jesus, but I'm committed to Jesus. And we need to have the right words, I love you, but I am committed to you. We need to have the words that say, you know what? I care about you, but I'm so caring I'm committed to your welfare. I mean, that's different. Can you hear this today?